Welcome to SML Total Access, where we break down news, predictions, and more in our Madden League. Now, let's get fired up for SML football.
Hello and welcome back to SML Total Access. I am Primetime 000, and with me today is maybe a new co-host, I'm not for sure, Dan He. What's going on?
Wow, man, I can't believe I'm actually on this show. I mean, from ZZ the Great to Coop to Tiny. I mean, just to be here for this one moment here, man, this is one of the highlights of my life right here.
It's pretty big. It's like going from Bart Starr to Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers, and now here you are, Jordan Love. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. So here at Total Access, we don't waste any time like the other shows. Heat Check, for example, shots fired already. Let's move on to first down. Madden 22, you might have been out and about, but the beta's dropped. Some articles have dropped. YouTube videos have dropped. Have you read anything about Madden 22? What's your thoughts? Have you played it? What do you think?
Yeah, so I'm not a big beta guy. For me, it's never been the game that ends up being the game in August, and so I don't really need to waste my time in July trying to fool around with that game. But being a new console, some of the new things with Fix the Franchise, it definitely is intriguing for me to be maybe taking a look at it. I've read some things. I'm a big, kind of read up on what's going on. And so I do like the ideas that they're throwing out there. I think fatigue, health might be a bigger issue. I mean, that's one of the things I think it's really good. Like, not being able to spam a guy or, focus on one or two guys, but build a full team. So if that's true, that's good. But, with Madden, it is what it is. And, they'll make one thing really good, and then they'll make two things that they say is good that will break five other things, and we'll figure it out. But I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be a step in the right direction.
Yeah, I got the beta. I downloaded it. I've played about 15 minutes of it. It's been out for 3 or 4 days. So I think they actually did legitimately put a lot of effort into franchise mode. The way they're advertising it, I think the first thing they're going to announce is franchise on its own. If you remember last year, it was just a sidebar on like face of the franchise, and I'm pretty sure they didn't even change. It was pretty bad actually. So they're at least from a marketing standpoint making it look like they put something into the game. The whole user interface has changed, like how you scroll through the menus on franchise. The regular game, nothing's changed. Maybe some skins on how things look, but the UI's changed. Obviously, injured players, coaching carousel. Gameplay wise, didn't feel much different, but I was playing the computer, so I couldn't tell. It did have a momentum bar in there, which I'm pretty excited about. It's something that's been, I think, wished for from quite a bit of guys. So overall, I'm cautiously optimistic. Even if the gameplay stays the same, if they just improve franchise, I would be happy just as a selfish franchise player.
Yeah. For me, again, I haven't had too many complaints with 20 and 21. Abilities need to be toned down, and they're going in the right direction in that. Gameplay wise, to me it's pretty balanced, and that's what I like. I want a game where I can play man, I can play zone. Yes. Obviously, zone might be a little bit better. I like a game I can run, I can pass. Obviously, the run's a little bit better, but you can still do those other things. It's still possible. So that to me is what I love in a game. Make it balanced so that I can play either way and have more wrinkles in my style.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Let's move on now to a second down here. Your boy Faz, your disciple. There was a lot of rumors of this friendship, this father-son. I don't know what exactly was going on between you two, but either way, Faz is dominant. Faz is great. He's won a Super Bowl. He's really only lost 2 games in his last probably 30. I mean, he's great. What is going on? Has he flipped a switch? Has the NFC dropped off? What do you think?
So Faz has always been a good Madden player. His issue has been more on the mental side of things. So he's had these moments, Super Bowl this year. Even if you look at the last season, I mean, we could be playing a totally different narrative if Rowan just doesn't throw that pick six. I mean, it was just totally changed. But so Faz will have these mental moments, but his stick skill is good. His understanding of the game is good. I mean, it's top notch, and that gets him through. The NFC, they got a lot of guys like that, and it's kind of interesting. You got RD and QP. You got Dump. Shout out to Dump just for kicking my butt just a few days ago. I can take my L.
Yes.
But those guys, they're really good with the stick skills, really good with understanding the game. But it's just these moments that they have. So I'm really curious. I don't know. I don't know if Faz conquered that last season. I don't know if beating the GOAT in the Super Bowl was his big moment, or did he just get lucky on a 75-yard run at the end of the half? Did he get lucky that he made the stop? I mean, it's still out there. I don't know if we have a full story on that.
That was going to be my question. Is obviously we had the Rowan Gate. D Muse went, toe to toe with Faz.
Yep.
So I kind of have the same opinion as you. I think he proved some things, but there's still something to prove there for Faz. RD, if RD's playing well and if his team's healthy, that game truly is a toss-up. I guess to spin off this topic here, just to throw one at you, is Bomber going to start being mentioned in that same breath or no?
So here's the thing, Bomber. Everyone loves Bomber. I don't know if there's a guy out there that doesn't love Bomber for what he does. He'll give it right back to you. He's quick with the comebacks.
Yes.
But he does it in a way that you like him, and so everyone loves Bomber. He's got a talented team. He's got all the right pieces. But again, there's that part where maybe this is a little bit of a Faz that I knew like 2 seasons ago, where he just couldn't get over that hump. He just couldn't get beyond that big moment, and until he does it, you got questions, and so. I think it's fair that you got some questions with Bomber. Can he get past you? Can he get past me or anyone else that might pop up in the AFC? I think Bomber's right there, but until he does it, we don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree. The team is there. I mean, that defense is loaded. The running back is there. The receivers are there. Quarterback is good enough. It's not great. It's good enough, I think. I mean, that team is Super Bowl ready, and I think a fun. If I'm not in it, which would be depressing for the whole league, but if I'm not in it, a Faz and Bomber Super Bowl would probably be a marquee ticket, a good pay-per-view buy.
Yeah, it would be a great game. I mean, both guys again are top-notch players. They're right up there. You'd have Bomber going for that first one. You'd have Faz trying to go for the title of the cycle. It's still out there. We got no one with a second Super Bowl yet. So whoever gets that second Super Bowl, they take that claim for the team of the cycle. And so, that'd be a classic game. I'd love to watch that.
Yes. Let's move on now. Third down here. A lot of teams on the bubble. Some good teams. Some mediocre teams. Some guys who haven't made it. Have you been kind of watching the teams on the bubble? Who do you have your eye on to make the playoffs or maybe even make a run at it?
Yeah, so every season I think we kind of get one or two. They don't end up making the Super Bowl, but they make a kind of surprise run. You look at Matt a few seasons ago. You look at Rowan even last year. I mean, he was right there on the cusp of the NFC title game. So this year, on the AFC side, I'm actually going Paulie, man. Yeah. I know I give Paulie a hard time, and he's never beaten me. I think it's like 0-11. Actually, I forget because I lost track how many times he's lost to me. But Paulie, man, if he gets the right path, if he gets the right players to go up against, I think he's won like 5 or 6 in a row here. He's playing good. So right now he's technically on the bubble. He's 7-5. The Titans are 7-5. I'm 7-5. I think Woods is 7-5. But looking at the schedules ahead, I think Paulie's got a good route, and Paulie's one of the few guys on the AFC side that I think can actually win more than 1 or 2 games. I think Paulie could actually beat you, me, Bomber, even if he had to play both of us. That's a hard task to get through, 2 of us, and I think Paulie has that. On the NFC side, it's not really a bubble, but I'm going to give him a hard time just because of his playoff record. But I really think Dump's got a different gear right now. Mm-hmm. I mean, he came in smacking me and talked about it. He came in and talked about Rowan. What I like about him in the last 2 games is his defense. I mean, his defense has been great. This has been Achilles' heel come playoff time. He's given up a lot of points in the defensive end. So, he's not really a bubble team because he's sitting there 3rd in the conference, but 1-6 playoff record. Man,
Yeah,
that
it's
makes him a
bad.
bubble team in my eyes. So
Yeah.
he's got to be able to. This could be the season, though. If he keeps playing that defense the way that he has, he might make a run at it.
Yeah, I would be. It would be criminal of me to come on here and not mention Tiny Titan at 5-7, a losing record, and he right now, if the season ended today, according to my records, he'd make the playoffs. Obviously, Figs is right there after going 0-16 maybe last year, so that's cool to see.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
I think Tiny's going to make the playoffs. Rowan, Clinky, and Figs. I don't think they've got it. I don't think he's going to do anything, but he's going to have to go play D Muse or maybe even dump. So that might be a tough round one. So that's my NFC pick to make it. Over in the AFC, you kind of took my pick, so I'll go with I'm going to go with Woods. Woods is somebody he's on the bubble right now. It looks like NYT's up 2 games in the division. I'm going to assume Coop's going to get knocked out. You're going to move up to the 6th seed and maybe even the 4th seed possibly. And that 7th seed is still there for the taking. And I'm going to say that Woods gets in, and he's beat Bomber in the playoffs. He's played me competitively. He's played you competitively. Anything can happen if that old man is hot. The question is if he doesn't psych himself out.
Right.
And it's all about getting hot at the right time. I know a player who had no X Factor running back beat the Broncos and the Jaguars both in the same playoff run. So it's possible.
That sounds like a myth to me. I don't think that's possible. There's no way that actually happened.
Yeah.
I think someone made that story up.
Yeah. It might be folklore in the SML. I'm not sure. So let's move on now to 4th down. This is kind of an interesting topic, maybe a psychology topic here. What causes players to fall off? Just bottom come out. Usually they're 500. Maybe they even make the playoffs, or they're right around the bubble, and then they just fall apart. Mike FML right now, great guy, does a lot for the league. Usually 500 Mike. I think he's only got 1 win right now. What do you think causes that?
Yeah, so the probably the easy answer, the one everyone uses, well, life gets in the way, and I don't really like to use that excuse because we all got life. And so we're going to set that one aside. We're not going to say, okay, I'm just busy with life. We're going to say that the reason why this happens to some of these guys is someone like Mike or maybe Grams or other people that have fallen off. It's almost like they refuse to adjust to the game.
Yes.
And so there's a hard part in here where we say, okay, do I adjust it because that's what everyone's doing, or do I feel like I'm taking the high road and I'm not trying to spam, or I'm not trying to be unsim, and I'm gonna play the high road game no matter what the game does. And I get it. Like there's moments where I do it too. Like, I could get frustrated sometimes when I see someone spamming a player, because spamming to me is one of those things that's kind of off limits. Like, just don't spam a guy.
Yeah.
And I start to see it happening, and then I start to say, well, I refuse to do that, and then I refuse so much that I end up just getting a loss. So I think some of these guys are just refusing to play the way the game is. Run the ball, check down, look for home runs, but don't try to force it. Just some of these different things. Maybe they're trying to blitz way too much and they're being exposed in the back end. And they just, all these other teams, maybe 25 other teams have adjusted, and now they're pretty good. I mean, there's a lot of good talent in SML right now. There's, you make 1 or 2 mistakes, you're going to lose the game. I think my record this season is because of that. I make 1 or 2 mistakes, and these guys, they got good running backs. They know how to control the ball. They know how to play mistake-free, and they're going to beat you. And so some of these old guys, or some of these guys that had good records that have fallen off, I think they're just refusing to adjust to the game.
You know what? That actually hit the nail right on the head. You look at Grams and Mike are perfect examples of guys who pass the ball a lot. And they get a lot of yards, but then they get close to the red zone, and they should probably be running the ball a little bit more, and then they turn the ball over, and they lose by maybe 2 scores, but they've thrown 3 interceptions, something along those lines. And I think you're in the right area too with how do you adjust to the game and play a solid sim game, but also not abuse what the game what the game kind of allows too much of. Like the run game, like 10 yards a carry. I mean, some guys are probably averaging right now.
Right.
How do you run the ball and still be a good sim player and not abuse that? And I think that A lot of it is just a feel thing. A lot of it is,
Yeah.
If I'm up on somebody, or if I'm playing somebody and I know I really don't need to abuse or use that much, I'm not going to sit there and hand it off every time, because I could take Jonathan Taylor. I could probably have 70% runs and my record would probably, be a lot better, or I could be way more efficient offensively. But you got to sprinkle it in, but not to the point of being stubborn and acting like you're setting a new level of simness, because you're not. You're sacrificing your own enjoyment of the game for it. And I don't know. I actually agree with you on that topic.
Yeah, I think it's hard. And again, you can't make a rule as a commissioner, but there's just, and we all might have different lines for those things. Yes. But I think it's healthy that there's different styles in it. Yes. So if I'm going to play a guy, hey, maybe, RD is going to run it 25 times with Akers, I got to be prepared for that versus, somebody else. And like you said, you got to figure out, like, am I enjoying the game, or am I just trying to, prove something to somebody?
Yes. That's exactly. And you don't want to play the same style either. So yeah, it's very, right. It's such a fine line. You just wish the game was balanced across the board, and it's not necessarily, but that's all right. We'll get there, hopefully. Let's move on now. Extra point, moving right along. What teams are you kind of rooting for? Let's say you get knocked out of the playoffs, or let's say you don't matter. What team do you kind of want to see win a game, a big game, win a playoff game, or even win a Super Bowl?
Well, AFC side's easy. Anyone but the Colts. I mean, that's as easy as it comes. I mean, nobody wants to see the Colts win. But no, on the AFC side, I want Bomber. I'm a big Bomber fan. Bushwhackers for life. So, I would love to see Bomber pull one out. I'd love to see him win. I'm actually now cheering for Dump. I mean, as much as we talk smack and stuff, I'd love to see Dump kind of push through the playoffs. I'd love to see him do well. As far as an underdog, I think Woods would be a great one. I think he's, again, kind of in that Bomber role where everyone just loves Woods, but I'd love to see him push through there. On the NFC side, Tiny I think is a good guy. I'd love to see him. So I'm probably rooting more for the good guys. Guys that I think that are just out there playing. Maybe they don't win a ton, or they don't always have the titles, but they're just good guys. And I think a league that has a lot of good guys in it is a good league that makes it last long. And I'd love to see those guys win.
Yeah, I'm all for voting for the good guy, and that's why I picked the Colts. You always no, I'm just kidding. So I kind of want to see QP win one. QP and Tiny, because I didn't know what to think about QP when he first joined the league. He was a little quiet. He actually made me mad, like his first day he joined the league, and I wanted to kick him. but now I've got a new opinion on QP. He's on first and goal quite a bit. He conducts himself well in chat. He plays a strong game. Yeah. He's hot. He's playing hot right now as well. I think it'd just be cool to see him win a game, and he also said that I was a goat before, so that kind of gets him some brownie points. Also, Tiny.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say Tiny Titan. Obviously, that's a given. That's my boy. So what were you gonna say though?
I was just gonna say, like, think about this. We're in season 7. We're in the middle of June.
Yeah.
And you and I could sit here and list off, maybe 10 different teams that we like, or we think we can win a Super. I mean, how many leagues can go around and talk about that? Like, just the quality of where some of these guys are at the top, and the battle in middle of June at the end of a Madden cycle. It's pretty incredible.
It is pretty fun. It definitely a podcast like this make it a lot easier. It gets everybody plugged in. And one other guy, I'm just going to name off an AFC guy, one of your bitter division rivals, Future. Future is he's a legend, and an SML legend and icon. Hasn't had that Simbardi yet, but it'd be cool to see him win one in today's SML, I think. Yeah,
I agree. He'd be a guy that I'd be rooting for 100%.
So, all right. Well, that's all I've got. We're nearing around 19 minutes on Total Access. I'm Prime Time. Dan, I'll let you sign us off today since you're the honorary guest.
Hey, man, it's been an honor to be on the show. It's been an honor to be in SML, and only thing I'll say is if I meet the Colts in the playoffs this year, I will not be sick. I will not have an excuse. I will not have anything but a W coming out of that one. I guarantee a win when I see you in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Guarantee it.
Okay, we'll see. And I guess I'm gonna get to my last word because I can actually end the podcast on my own here. So not only will I beat Denver, but if we box or play 1-on-1, I'll win that too. That's Dan.
Oh.
I'm Prime. You guys have